What's up, everyone? Just on my way to the gym again. Another solid day at work. Bengals, Bills. Yesterday, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to put out a video yesterday. I was at the game, miserable because of the rain. And there's really nothing much you can say about that. It sucked. If you were a fan down there, it was awful. It was miserable to attend. Just rain wise, it didn't matter where you were. I mean, the water just pouring down the stairs just wasn't fun. But so like I said, I didn't get a chance to get anything out last night. So I want to obviously try and get everything, get these recap videos posted, within 24 hours or so if I can. But gutsy win by the Bengals yesterday. It was a huge win for them, facing a Buffalo Bills team they're a solid football team. Defensively, one of the top units in football, and I mean offensively, they meh. I mean you have Tyrod Taylor, who's he's not too bad. He gets the job done, for a quarterback. Obviously, but when you got Shady McCoy, who is just a phenomenal running back, carrying the ball for you. The Bills did, they were going to pose some, a little bit of threat, but obviously, once again, the Bengals defense continues to show why they are one of the top defensive units in all of football. Paul Gunther's got these guys playing hard, playing just, superb football. So, the Bengals, especially with the weather, it was kind of one of those things you expected to see a battle of ground games. You did not see that like we expected. When Andy fired that ball to AJ Green for that 77-yard touchdown, the place went nuts. I mean, we couldn't believe what we were seeing. That first drive, the first couple plays were, they were slinging the ball around. I mean, like I said, it was pouring down rain. You could see guys, they were dropping balls in the pregame. It just was, like I said, conditions were not conducive for chucking the ball around the field like they were. So good on the Bengals for doing that. They did what they could to move the ball effectively, and they, like I said, they did a really good job doing that. One thing a little frustrated about was the fact that, I mean, obviously, AJ Green, he would have been a main reason if the Bengals had lost, why they lost that game. Superstars aren't going to be superstars every single game. Unfortunately, he just had a bad, picked a bad day to have a bad game in some aspects. I'm not going to blame him for the fumble. He got hit up high on that one, and he just got rocked. That's going to happen. But then, the ball goes through his hands on the second interception by Dalton. That's obviously not something that you like. I mean, especially from one of the top receivers in the game. So with that being the case, you kind of, you shake your head a little bit. You shake it in frustration just because you don't expect that from AJ. It happened. But again, big guys make big plays in big situations, and AJ did do that. Like they said on the broadcast, AJ Green, I think it might have been on the broadcast, it might have been with Lapp and Dan Horde. AJ Green was going to be a factor in this game regardless, whether it was offensively making plays or if it was going to be defensively for the Bills, with the turnovers. He did have the first pass. I felt that he could have come down with the one that was high. Again, it was a high throw by Dalton, so it did go through his hands, tipped, and obviously you don't like to see those things happen. It did happen. So regardless, it didn't hurt the Bengals. They did put, it just, you can't consistently be putting your team behind the eight ball like the Bengals consistently do. Defense, continues to go out there and they play hard. I mean, they fly to the ball. It's amazing how different this defense is with Vontaze Burfict, who again plays out of his mind every single game. So good on Tez. But yeah, overall, a solid performance. Bengals head into the bye week now 2-3, 2 huge victories. Obviously, they got off the schneid against Cleveland in last week, to move to 1-3, and then going into the bye week again with some solid momentum after facing, like I said, a solid Buffalo team. Now you go into the bye week with Pittsburgh on the horizon. Get a chance to look to hopefully get Eifert back, see how he responds. Like I said, hopefully he can come back in and heal up nicely. Same thing with John Ross. You need that speed, especially against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who they were torched yesterday by Jacksonville. So I think this division can still be had. You look at, obviously, Cleveland is Cleveland. God only knows when they're going to win another game. Baltimore, I think Baltimore can easily be had as well. I believe they're 3-2 at this point, along with Pittsburgh 3-2. The Bengals, like I said, are on the bye next week, or this coming week here. So, the Bengals can, if they can continuously, come out of this, it could be, some solid momentum now. You go into the bye week, like I said, you relax, get healthy, game plan well for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, like I said, are not in a good position at this point in time. I think you can take them on the road. It doesn't matter how good either team is. Their games are usually close. These two teams know each other really well, obviously. They don't like each other. With Ben throwing 5 picks, yesterday against a good Jacksonville team, I believe the Bengals defense is better than Jacksonville's defense. So if that's the case, I think you've got a chance to make Ben's life a living hell again. They usually do a good job of getting pressure on Ben Roethlisberger and making him really struggle. Obviously Ben's Ben. He's going to have a good game. He's going to be able to chuck the ball around the field as well. He's got many weapons. So they've got a chance to really get that going again. And I think if they're able to come away with a victory out of the bye week, that could really propel them to really competing for a division championship here. I know we didn't think that when they were 0-3. It seemed like it was, completely impossible for them. But coming out of week 1, you looked and it just, the way they played, they get shut out in the first game. They just looked awful. The defense, I thought the defense wasn't too bad. Defense played well. They were just put in a couple bad spots and unfortunately did not, they were just, kind of, it was a bend don't break mentality at that point in time. Obviously didn't have Tez to anchor that defense. They got burned really on the one long pass play in that first week, but I don't think Baltimore is that good of a team, especially after their performance against the Bengals. Like I said, you came out of that week 1 frustrated because, if you play, an okay football game, I think you come out of that with a victory. So, there's that, and then you look at week 2 against the Texans. If they come out and play like they did yesterday, that's another victory for him. This team easily right now could be 4-1, which is maddening. It drives you nuts when you see, how well they played. But they've got the talent, and they're showing it. The only thing I would like to see now offensively is use Joe Mixon more. The more you watch Joe Mixon, and it's more evident, especially now. You see him on TV, during the away games, but then you watch him at home, when we're down at the stadium. Obviously, you get a completely different perspective. But watching Joe Mixon, and I say it seems like every week how much I love the guy. Watching him, he's a very professional runner. He's very patient, compared to Jeremy Hill, it's two polar opposites with these two. Jeremy Hill, there was a couple carries he had yesterday where he just ran right into the defense, and it's frustrating to see when, you know, you can any bit of patience, you know, and let things develop and let a hole open up, then, you know, Jeremy Hill could be a very productive runner. It just, you know, it seems like he's overly aggressive, and when he gets the ball, he tries to just, you know, rush and just go right into the defense. And that, compared to Mixon, you know, you watch Mixon, he quickly bounces out if necessary. Joe Mixon's a lot of fun to watch as a running back. So I think you have to give him the ball more, along with Gio Bernard. Use those guys as weapons out of the backfield. You know, you saw the screenplay last week where, you know, you let everything develop, and then, you know, Gio bounces out and takes it to the house on that screenplay. That's what you need to see more of. That's what I want to see more of from this Bengals offense. And if you can get that, you know, I think that, you know, they're going to be in really good shape considering the other weapons that they have. So, you know, I thought they did a really good job, like I said yesterday, of, you know, airing the ball out. There was a couple of crucial drops that I wasn't a fan of, which unfortunately you're going to have those. So, you know, you just have to eliminate those kind of mistakes. Once you eliminate those mistakes, I think that you can put yourself in a good spot. The Bengals can, you know, seemingly continue to do that, putting themselves in relatively good spots when, you know, when needed. You have to convert on third down. I think that's something they do struggle with. But, you know, overall, with the weapons that they have, there's no excuse that this team should not be 4-1 at this point in time. They're not. 2-3. Huge victory yesterday over the Buffalo Bills. You know, again, something you just got to roll with it and continuously, you know, build off that momentum. You know, you knocked off a woeful Cleveland team last week. You build off that momentum and the victory. You roll into another one on a Buffalo Bills team. Like I said, it's a solid team coming in. They did suffer some injuries yesterday, but the defense played well. Did a great job of shutting them down, and boom, come out of it with another victory, 2-3 into the bye week. There we go. So, you know, overall, I'm happy. I'm thrilled with the way things have gone. Again, the turnovers, you can't have those. Got to cut them down. Dave Lapham, he said the Bengals haven't won the turnover battle all season. So if you're not plus in the turnover, you know, in the turnover game, you're not going to win too many games. That's, you know, they're lucky to have bounced back against, you know, a Cleveland team that they didn't win the turnover battle there. And they just managed to beat them just because they're Cleveland. That's the only reason they won that game. So situations like that, you gotta rise above that, build up, and continue on. So good on the Cincinnati Bengals. Really nothing much else to say. Kind of rambled on a little bit in this one. Unfortunately, I was driving, so I didn't get a chance to really reflect on, you know, too many stats. But, you know, overall, like I said, huge victory. Good for the Bengals. Time is of the essence now. Rest up a little bit. Going into Pittsburgh in 2 weeks from now. And that's pretty much it. Hope you guys have yourselves a fantastic week. Enjoy what you can. As always, check us out at PhillyImpactSports.com. If you're interested in writing or anything like that, hit me up. Let me know. I'd love to have you. I want to add a lot more content onto the site, whether it's, you know, sports related or we do cover the combat sports, you know, aspect of, you know, MMA, pro wrestling. There some boxing, not as much. I'm not a boxing guy. But if you have any interest, let me know. That'd be great. As always, check us out on Twitter and check out the site, and also subscribe to the YouTube page. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up, let me know. Thank you guys, and have yourselves a great rest.